Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated match in the history of Royale. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. It's Pro v Pro, back on the channel, baby. We have the returning champ, none other than Surgical Goblin, back here defending his title as the pro to beat in a best of 5 against other pros in the game. Today, the contender, as we hop into the first match here, is none other than his teammate in Team Liquid competitive CRL team. I can't wait till CRL EU and NA starts up, and Latin America. I just can't wait to cover that stuff. So Team Liquid should have a stacked team. They also have Diego B, who will be back on the channel soon. But we're right into the first match here. I want you guys to pause real quickly. Go into the comments. Let me know who are you rooting for. Just be sure not to read those comments, and don't skip forward and cheat to find out who won, because you don't want any spoilers either way there. So who you're rooting for, guys, let me know. And it looks like Surgical Goblin's playing a P.E.K.K.A. control deck. Bandit, P.E.K.K.A., Ewiz, Minions, Ice Spirit so far, and Azilys is going to be in trouble here with this matchup, guys. Definitely not what he wanted to see with his Goizen deck, his Giant Prince deck, but we'll see how he does. Giant Prince right now is just incredibly strong in the meta, so you really can't go wrong with a Giant deck, and even though he's facing against P.E.K.K.A., it's by far a lost battle before it begins, because the deck's just so strong right now that sometimes you can even overcome a P.E.K.K.A., a hard counter type matchup. So a great usage of the Bandit dash there by Surgical Goblin, making sure she took no damage to that charging Prince or Dark Prince in that situation, because when she goes into her dash, she won't get that charge damage. She actually works out to be a pretty decent counter against a charging Prince. So the Ewiz answering the Ewiz there from Surgical Goblin, and now Azilys will have to respond to the other Ewiz. So he responds with a Mega Minion. It looks like both players kind of cycling at 8-9 elixir here until Surgical Goblin does send in that Miner, getting a little bit more chip damage. So Surgical Goblin's probably going to be getting most of his damage from minor poisons, maybe a Bandit dash, but he's relying on his P.E.K.K.A. and his Ewiz mainly for defense here, and you can see another Bandit charge mitigating that charge coming in from the Prince. So here comes Bandit. She's going to run right into that Dark Prince. She will remove his shield, which is nice, before she dies, and now the Ewiz is going to go ahead and counter that Dark Prince. Azilys is kind of getting a little desperate for some damage here on that tower, does come in with the poison and the log, taking out that Ewiz and doing a little bit of damage. Surgical sees that Azilys committed a lot of elixir, so he responds with a poison that didn't provide a lot of value himself, but just kind of cycling here. So Surgical goes ahead and drops off that P.E.K.K.A. in the lower left-hand corner. That's going to be intercepting that Giant who's lumbering his way down the lane. Bandit does get a charge off, but does like no damage to that Giant. Now here comes a double Prince Mega Minion push, providing a lot of poison value here for Surgical Goblin. He does drop that poison. P.E.K.K.A.'s doing his thing, or her, excuse me, sorry P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. doing her thing there, really shutting that push down, which could have been a devastating push. But all of a sudden here with that poison, Azilys is right back in it. 1634 HP left on his tower, 1520 left on, on Azilys' tower. Surgical has 1634 left. So here comes another charging Dark Prince, answered by those minions. Minions take out Dark Prince, get a little bit of chip damage onto the tower. A few swings with that minion. Just keeping the cycle alive there is Surgical Goblin, sending in an Ice Golem. Ice Golem also makes contact to do some chip damage on that left tower. Again, it's going to be rinse and repeat here for Surgical. Despite the Mega Minion and the Prince, he's going to be okay here. He's going to go ahead and play that Bandit. Bandit, unfortunately, runs into the Prince, and Prince takes care of her in very quick work there, but it doesn't really matter. Surgical's able to defend still pretty well there, and now it's going to be a P.E.K.K.A. against the Dark Prince. P.E.K.K.A.'s going to take care of this Dark Prince in 2 swings, and Ewiz helping out, did a number there on that push. Now, here's a little bit of a counter push here for Surgical Goblin. This could be trouble. Nice Ewiz there, taking everything out. That could have been much worse there for Azilys. This is going to be Azilys' really do or die push here. We're well into overtime, but that tower is getting really low there. That log does not connect to the tower, but neither does the Giant. P.E.K.K.A. finishing him off just a second before he could get a swing off on that tower. Not what Azilys wanted there. And again, here comes a charging Bandit. Bandit does make contact to that left tower. That's going to be GG, guys. I think it's, well, it's not over yet, but a minor poison is going to take this tower very, very low. Surgical still has to make sure he remains disciplined, which Surgical is very good at doing here. Again, not rushing things. He has a minute and a half, more than a minute and a half left here in this match. Almost 100 spectators as well. Look at the confetti everywhere and the emotes everywhere, guys. This is hype. Here it comes. E-Wiz does make contact with the tower with one bolt. That's going to take it down really low. Now the miner does make contact as well. Surgical just needs a poison and a log, and there it is. Poison log in. GG, says Azilys. A tough matchup, though, for Azilys. Surgical does take the win. So Surgical coming out, throwing the big body shots to Azilys with the P.E.K.K.A. and ends up taking the first victory there. So 1-0. Let's go ahead and hop into the next match. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, guys, here we are, match number 2 underway. Let's hop in and see what these pros pull out for deck, or for match number 2 for decks. So Azilys on the bottom this time, Surgical on the top. Just a editing note for you guys. We'll have to see. Azilys starts out with a Goblin Barrel in the safe zone. Surgical responds, anticipating it with a Bandit and minions of his own. Now, Bandit and minions were both in Surgical's previous deck as well. And there's the Miner. Do you guys think that Surgical's running the same exact deck that he was in the first match? It looks like it from his first 3 cards, but who's to tell if he made any alterations or modifications to the deck. Azilys is playing Bandit, so Bandit's doing a pretty good job protecting that Princess, but they're going to run right into Surgical Goblin's P.E.K.K.A. there. Princess able to get a few shots off on that right tower, but we're going to have to deal with a P.E.K.K.A. if we're Azilys here. Not only a P.E.K.K.A., but it's in a P.E.K.K.A. and an E-Wiz there. Royal Ghost onto the E-Wiz. Even despite his nerf, Royal Ghost still a really, really good card, guys. This could be trouble here, though. Is the P.E.K.K.A. going to make it to the tower? Is she going? Oh, man, that P.E.K.K.A. was this close to getting that sword landed on that right tower of Azilys. Surgical Goblin almost had about 1,000 extra damage off that tower, but luckily for Azilys, she does not connect there. So Surgical's going to go ahead and reload with a Bandit behind his King Tower. Surgical notably here with a small elixir advantage. Here comes minions as well. He has a gang to respond to all of that, but the Bandit will not remain alive, but the Rascals will answer those 2 minions. Azilys not keen on taking any extra damage onto his right tower. So now here comes Rascals down the right lane for Surgical. Surgical does have Log, right? Does he have Log in this deck? Was it Log or Zap? I just commentated the first match, already forgot, but he didn't need either of them. He played the P.E.K.K.A. again at the bridge there, so you can see twice in a row now, Surgical Goblin not being afraid to play that big P.E.K.K.A. at the bridge. Now he connects with a charge on the Prince, so things going much better for him defensively this time. However, Bandit does do a lot of damage to that Prince, and Prince will not even have a chance at connecting to that right tower there for Azilys. So Surgical, you know, we're already into double elixir time. 100 spectators again here, guys. Sending in the Goblin Barrel. There is the Log. It was Log. I shouldn't doubt myself, Ash. You're old, but you're not that old. You're not that forgetful just yet. But for some reason, the Princess was also there, clustered up with those Goblins from the Goblin Gang, providing a lot of poison value to Surgical Goblin. He's definitely going to take that. And now he responds to this Bandit with the Prince. So again, pretty good defense there by Azilys, but running into the P.E.K.K.A. again, and P.E.K.K.A. again being supported there by the E-Wiz. Now, luckily, Azilys does have a poison in this deck. You know what? It's funny because this deck right now that Azilys is playing, I just shared a version of the deck without the Prince, but it had, without the Rascals too. So it's a bait deck, but it's not the same, I guess. But it had the Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie would be really strong. Maybe not necessarily against this matchup. So I guess I should just shut up and commentate the match, right? Because you look at Surgical Goblin's deck and it's like, what would Valkyrie even do? So yeah, good insight there, Ash. Not really. All right, so here we go. It's going to be a Prince in the left lane against that P.E.K.K.A. And meanwhile, we have Rascals going against that Bandit. Could be some damage here for Azilys. No, that Log back in cycle already for Surgical Goblin. Going to respond there and really just hold that right tower, keep it strong. Meanwhile, he has to deal with his push coming in the left again, playing Rascals directly smack dab in front and loses the Princess to that charging Bandit. Unfortunately, again there for Azilys, losing the Princess, and Azilys is in some trouble here again into overtime, guys. And the E-Wiz is going to go ahead and, oh, there's the P.E.K.K.A. You know, it seems like whenever Surgical Goblin doesn't have a great defense, he has enough elixir and he has the P.E.K.K.A. back in cycle. P.E.K.K.A. is definitely the MVP in the first 2 matches here. P.E.K.K.A. is super strong in the meta right now, guys. So many P.E.K.K.A. decks, so many comments, even on my last few videos in the last couple days of double uploads, people saying, yeah, I love P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A.'s my favorite card. I even asked in the pinned comment 2 videos ago, what deck are you running right now? Surprisingly, a lot of you guys are having a ton of success with P.E.K.K.A. Speaking of P.E.K.K.A., there she is again. So P.E.K.K.A. actually tanking for that bandit, keeping her alive, and then living to see another day. Minions played to the other side of that prince. Meanwhile, we're going to take care of really everything. Azilys threw everything in the kitchen sink in that right lane. Surgical able to pretty easily defend, even though he does take a couple swings to that Royal Ghost. So that left tower down to 338 here for Azilys. He's in big trouble. He sends in that juke barrel. Doesn't really matter. He's not able to connect with any big damage. Now Poison's going to be able to finish it off. Surgical says GG. Azilys responds, well played, and that's match 2. So Surgical Goblin, again, coming out the gate really hot here, ladies and gentlemen. Not that we expected any less. Surgical up 2-0, meaning that if he wins the next match, he is the player to beat. Let's go ahead. I'll update them on the score, not that they really need it, and come back to you guys when they're ready to go into match number 3. Oh my god, we're already here in match number 3. How about that? I look down and I see the game already started, so no editing needed. Azilys on the top this time, Surgical Goblin back on the bottom, and let's see, does Surgical go with the same P.E.K.K.A. deck 3 matches in a row? I don't know. Let's wait. Both of these players not making a first move. We're about 25 seconds or so into this match. Here it goes, approaching the 30-second mark in this match. Surgical makes the first play, cycling in Ice Golem on the left side behind his King Tower. Azilys responding with a Tombstone, meaning Azilys is probably playing either Graveyard or, there it is, Lava Hound, Lava Loon. So here comes a Balloon for Surgical. So Surgical's playing like the Pompeo fast Balloon cycle deck by the looks of it. Definitely not a Lava Loon deck. And the Balloon just barely connects there on that right tower. Surgical strikes first again, taking the tower with the help of Spirit Goblins. The new and improved Spirit Goblins, at least in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I feel like they got a buff, not a nerf, but, you know, everybody has their own opinion on the Spirit Goblin rework. Oh, whoa! Never mind that, guys. Look at that surprise freeze. Freezes everything except for the bats. Bats actually played after the freeze there, but takes that tower down to 486. So all of a sudden, hey, guys, Azilys is in the lead here, but now that Surgical knows he has freeze, one could bet that he'll be much more careful now going forward, not putting down all his troops at the same time defensively. He does have that Inferno Dragon, Surgical, and Bats, so he has a couple air answers in this deck. Now here comes another Miner and Goblin Gang. Azilys is going to go ahead and just arrow that all up. Look at Azilys' deck, guys. It doesn't look like he's running a big spell at all, just the freeze and arrows rather than a fireball, which, you know, it probably wouldn't have helped him out that much in this matchup either. So maybe freeze is the right call for this matchup. Here comes an Inferno Dragon. Azilys is going to go ahead and answer with some minions. Surgical is going to go ahead and zap to reset, and it's kind of null and void that push in the left lane. Here comes the Lava Hound. Let's see what Surgical does. He comes in with the Balloon, the Bats, and the Ice Golem. Bats are going to be able to handle that Mega Minion, totally mitigating that Mega Minion, I think. Nope, Zap will take care of it, though. And here it comes, Balloon on that left tower. So now that left tower is going to be gone, guys. The girls doing their best. Actually, I stand corrected. Not gone, but very low. Meanwhile, in the right lane, is he going to use freeze? Is he going to use freeze? Where is it? There it is. He waits for the bats. He freezes. That's going to be right tower down for Azilys here, guys. Miner on the left tower for Surgical Goblin. Going to take down that left tower. And look at this. 521 HP remaining on Azilys tower. 486 remaining on Surgical Goblins. Here comes the Lava Hound and minions in the pocket here. But surprisingly, the Spirit Goblins and the Inferno Dragon playing immaculate defense. Now here comes the Balloon. Is the Balloon going to make contact? No, it's probably not, because we have the bats in the cycle. Meanwhile, Surgical Goblin sends in that Miner, sends in the Goblin Gang. Goblins make contact with the tower, and it goes down with 83 HP left on the tower for Surgical Goblin. He sweeps Azilys, and Surgical remains the pro to beat. Man, GG, guys. Wow. That was very close. I'm just going to thank them for playing as always. Wow, did you guys expect that? I was definitely surprised. I didn't think Surgical would sweep Azilys. A lot of you guys wanted, well, Surgical left, so I guess I'll just say thank you for coming on Azilys here. But a lot of you guys wanted Azilys to face Surgical, the battle of the teammates, and it happened, and Surgical really thoroughly really showed that he's the pro to beat, at least today. Now, speaking of pros to beat, who would you like to see face off against Surgical Goblin? I'll rattle off some names just off the top of my head who have contacted me who want to have a chance at fighting against Surgical, being the guy to take him down. We have, I know I'm going to forget people. We have Mini Minter. We have Morton. We have Crap, Trainer Dipets. We have Duranacoda. We have Swood. We have, oh gosh, I think Morton. Did I say Morton? I think Morton. All right, so those are the players. I think I named like 6 or 7 names there. There's more that I'm forgetting. I know there are, but those are the guys. And I've reached out to some people who said no, like straight up, I'm not going to play. I'm not interested in playing Surgical Goblin. So let me know in the comments, guys, who you want to see. Also, make sure you join my Discord server. I haven't announced it. I'll probably make a big announcement at the beginning of a video, not at the end, where my OG subs who really care about me watch still. New Discord server. It's in the link below, but I haven't publicized it yet. I'll be doing weekly giveaways. And also taking episode suggestions where you can also suggest the next pro that you want to see in the Pro v Pro series. So guys, really appreciate all the feedback, and I love how much you guys love this series. It's my favorite series here that I do on the channel, and it also switches things up, so I'm a big fan of it. And here I am rambling to try to put extra time at the end so you guys don't know just by the video length what the results are, if you couldn't tell what I was doing there, guys. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it, and shout out to both of the pros here and to Team Liquid. I'll link everything that I can, their player profiles, their stats on statsroyale.com, as well as their Twitters and YouTube and whatever I can find for these guys in the description below, along with, of course, Bren Chong, my YouTube partner, has done so much for me, done so much for the community behind the scenes. Can't thank Bren Chong enough. Make sure you check him out. Give him a little love in the description below. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And as always, take care, guys.